to be great. For the dreamers, all of the believers told them we'd be great, but no one would believe us. Now we're on our way up. We're the ones that made us easy like a layup. Every day
tuning into the only station giving you double the information and inspiration. WDRB Media and WGFV, the soul of Charlotte. You're now listening to Live Your Dream, and I am your host, Mike the Motivator. Guys, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is your boy, Mike the Motivator. I want to thank you for tuning in once again to Live Your Dream on this Monday afternoon. Listen, guys, I want to make sure that I give you some type of negative today, guys, that can help inspire you, to help motivate you for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, even for the rest of the year. You are at the right place at the right time if you are looking to get motivated and to live your dream. If you want to know a little bit about who is Michael Askew, just go to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube, guys. Just type in Michael Askew II. Michael Askew II. All right, guys, so today we got a good one. We got a good one today, guys. Today's topic is, why compete when you can dominate? Why compete when you can dominate? This topic means a lot to me because we live in a society where people say, listen, you got to compete. If you want to be better, you got to compete with the man beside you. But what if you could be the best you can be? What if you can dominate without competing with other people? We're gonna get a little bit deeper into that, guys. But before we get into that, let's introduce our first sponsor to the show.
Askew Property Solutions is Charlotte's leading real estate company, here to serve you with integrity and excellence. Specializing in assisting families who are facing financial hardship, distressed housing situations, acquired estates, divorce, and more. At Askew Property Solutions, their goal is to help families transform their lives by creating viable solutions that is a win for you. Sell your home with trustworthy professionals who will help close within 7 to 10 days and put cash in your hands so that you can continue living life without missing a beat. Contact Askew Property Solutions today at 980-229-4886, 980-229-4886, or visit their website at www.sellhouseforcashnow.com, www.sellhouseforcashnow.com, so that you can continue living with a peace of mind with Askew Property Solutions.
When they do not. Shout out to Askew Property Solutions for helping so many people in the Charlotte and surrounding area to sell their property when they do not need or want that property anymore. It can be so many situations that can make people want to sell their property. It could be a property that was passed down to them from a loved one. It could be a property that was left to them maybe through a divorce. It could be a pre-foreclosure situation where somebody cannot afford to stay there anymore. So shout out to Askew Property Solutions for helping so many people to move on to future endeavors. All right, guys, so if you're just tuning in, you are tuning to Live Your Dream, and I'm your boy. I am your host, Mike the Motivator. So, guys, today we're talking about, why are you competing when you could be dominating? Why are you competing when you could be dominating? Guys, this is a tricky subject, right? Because throughout our entire life, we've been taught to compete. In a race, compete. In football, compete. In corporate America, compete. Entrepreneurs, compete. But what I found is the people who are dominating, the people who do something so well that people are saying that those companies or people do not compete with other people. They compete with themselves. They make sure that they always improving. So if anything, they're competing with their performance last year, right? So they always going forward. They're always moving forward. So they would never be stagnant. But the problem with when you compete with other people is that the person you're competing with could be average. Let's talk about that. The person that you're competing with could be in gear 3, and so what happened is you say, you know what? I'm gonna get in gear 3 too, just so I can compete with them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get in gear 4 so I can one up them. And you don't even realize that you got 6 gears, right? You got 6 gears, but just because you're doing a little bit better than the person beside you, you say, you know what? I made it. I'm here. So that's why when you compete with other people, you are going down a fast lane of being average, and you don't even know it. So if you want to avoid complacency and avoid mediocrity, stop competing with people. Compete with yourself. When you compete with yourself and you make sure that each and every day that you are improving, before you know it, you will begin to dominate in a certain industry. You begin to dominate in whatever you put your mind to, because you be like, you know what? I'm not even measuring my success to the next man beside me. I'm measuring my success to what I can do. And the thing is, when you measure your success to what you can do, you begin to blow your mind and the people mind around you. Because like, man, this dude always getting better. Stop competing with other people and dominate. So, you know, it's so easy to compete with other people. Like regardless of if people admit it or not, everybody is checking the score. Everybody is trying to keep up with the Joneses or one way or another. But here's the thing about when you compete with other people. When you compete with Bob, when you compete with Junebug, whoever you competing with, when you compete with them, oftentimes the person you competing with, they don't even have clarity on what they really want to do in life. They lost. They don't know exactly what their passion is. They don't know what their purpose is. They just say as confused as you are. But since you compete with them, you latch on to them and you begin to be lost as well. Oftentimes when you keep up with the Joneses, when you compete with other people, you become oblivious to the fact that the Joneses have their own issues. They have their own problems. But when you compete with yourself, you begin to get in your own lane. You begin to dominate something that you are naturally good at, and you don't have to worry about keeping up with the Joneses. You don't have to worry about competing with people by doing stuff that you don't even like doing. When you compete with yourself, you become so good at something that you begin to get in a lane of your own. Think about that for a second. Think about the Walmarts of the world. Think about Walmart. Walmart is so good at what they do. People are saying, listen, we don't want you to come into our town. We don't want you to come into our city because you are a monopoly. You're going to put all the mom and pop stores out of business. Listen, we can't compete with you, so we don't want you to come in. Think about the 1990 Chicago Bulls. They were so good at what they did. They dominated. They actually got bored of competing with people. They said, listen, the only way that we can keep our attention, the only way that we can get excited about what we do, we have to compete with ourselves. We have to see how many rings we can win. Look at the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, they broke the record this year of winning the most games in a regular season. They actually broke the Chicago Bulls record. One of the issues that I saw late during the season was that they were so good at what they was doing, they was no longer competing with people. They was no longer competing with other NBA teams. They was competing with themselves like, how many games can we win? How many games can they win? And it got to the point where they were getting bored because they were so good at what they was doing. But what would have happened if they just competed with the people around them, right? If they just competed with the people around them and said, man, look, no other teams here got this many wins. No other teams here is on this win streak, and just let their guards down. They would have not broke the record this year. Not only would the Warriors be smarter who came up short of breaking a record, but if they did not break that record, if they did not break the all-time winner regular season record, nobody will remember them. Like for real, like nobody remembers the person who competes just enough to say, hey, I'm better than the next person. Nobody remembers the person who competes just enough to say, I'm just as good as the next person. People remember the people who dominate. Why do you think people never forget the teams who create a dynasty in football or basketball or any other sport? Nobody never forgets them because they dominated. But when you find somebody that does just enough to get by, when you find somebody who competes just enough to say, hey, I'm in the same arena as you, when you find somebody who competes just enough to say, listen, don't forget about me, people remember you for a little while, but the people who dominate, those people are the ones who go in the history books. We're going to listen to a quick clip talking about Stephen Curry and what he's been through and his mindset when everybody doubted him. But before we do that, let's introduce our second sponsor to the show.
Do you have or know a teen who is struggling academically or is in the process of transitioning into college or their career? Challenge and Transform Motivational Company partners with young adults in middle and in high schools to shift and stretch their mind and talents to achieve total transformation and acceleration. Challenge and Transform is your local resource for strategically preparing young adults to succeed in education, corporations, and in life. For more information on their programs or public speaking inquiries, please call 980-229-4886. Once again, that's 980-229-4886.
Steph Curry with the shot. 0 to 100.
Stephen Curry, 6'3", 185 pounds. Position, point guard. Stephen's explosiveness and athleticism are below standard. He's not a great finisher around the basket. He needs to considerably improve as a ball handler. Often struggles against physical defenders. Stephen must develop as a point guard in order to make it in the league. He will have limited success at the next level. Do not rely on him to run your team.
My actions being louder than my words. 0 to 100, know yourself, know your worth. 0 to 100.
So, guys, a few weeks ago, Stephen Curry won the MVP for the second year in a row, for the second season in a row. And something that I realized is that now he's on he's on another level, to the point where now people are beginning to criticize him. When he was just a skinny kid coming out of Davidson, nobody criticized him. Why? Because he wasn't a threat. He wasn't a threat. They thought he was just another person who was going to compete for a position on the team, or they thought he was just another person that was just in the league. Nobody cared about him like that. But now he's to the point where he's dominating. He's dominating, and now everybody got something to say. I'm talking about the old heads, the people who played years ago. They got something to say. The people who've been the man in the league for so long. Now they know that they get on social media and saying like little slick stuff, or whenever they get a microphone to their mouth, they saying little sly stuff. Like now he's a threat to him because he's dominating. But what if Stephen Curry said, you know what? I'm just gonna compete with people. I never been above average. I always been a person who they said was too skinny. I could barely shoot the ball because I was so small. No D1 schools wanted me. Like I just want to get in the league. I don't want to dominate. I don't believe I can dominate. I just want to get in the league. What if Stephen Curry said that? What's fun about Stephen Curry is that when you see him, like before games, when you see him before games and you see him dribbling the ball and stuff like that, it's funny because people will take pictures and people get to the games early just to watch him dribble. But what they don't understand is that if he's doing that so that you can see, imagine what he's doing behind closed doors. He putting in work so he could dominate. If Stephen Curry was just another person who said, listen, I'm just going to compete with others, he would not be the man who we know today. Think about it for a second. If Stephen Curry was just another dude who said, I'm just going to compete with people, he would not seek to dominate. He would not compete with himself. If you need any example of how you should actually live your life as far as competing with yourself instead of competing with other people so that you can dominate, think about the 2014-15 season when Stephen Curry, he broke the three-point record for making 286 three-pointers. But the following year, this year, he broke his own record and made 402 three-pointers. Listen, he wasn't satisfied with being on top. He knew in order for him to be on top and to remain on top, he had to compete. He had to compete with himself. He had to keep going to another level. But if he looked around and said, man, the people who records are broke, they're not even in the game anymore, so I could just fall back. If he did that, he would not be the Steph Curry who we see today. He would not be the Steph Curry who just throw up a shot and turn around because he already knows what's going in. He would not be that dude. The fact that people are saying that he's the face of the NBA instead of LeBron James, because each and every day he seeks to compete with himself. Each and every day he seeks to dominate. He's not trying to be like everybody else. He's not trying to have a whole bunch of friends all over the league. He's seeking to dominate. So, guys, as I close this show, I want you to understand that, listen, when you compete with other people, you are setting yourself up to be average. I hate to tell you this, guys. Listen, nobody else is going to tell you this because, listen, either they don't know or either they know, but they want you to remain average. When you compete with other people, you become an average because it's different level to this thing. You got another level to you. You got many more levels, but when you compete with other people, you're going to keep hitting that glass ceiling. When you compete with other people, you're going to go just fast enough to say, listen, I'm better than you. But you don't even realize that you got more levels to go. You got more gears to go. You can go to higher heights, guys. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Continue to tune in every Monday at 2 p.m. I'm your host, Mike the Motivator, and you've been listening to Live Your Dream on WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. And guys, remember, the people who you celebrate and appreciate on television, The people who you study and admire through your history books, they're simply ordinary people who had extraordinary dreams. Live your dream, guys. Live your dream.
Preach, keep dreaming, and one day you'll be proud to see all of your wildest ones are coming to reality. So plant a seed and catch the lightning in the jar, so there'll be flowers at your feet, and what's above you is the
stars. All the dreamers, all of the believers, told them we'd be great, but no one would believe us. Now we're on our way up, we're the ones that made us, easy like a layup. Every day is greatness, every day we're great. Every day